Can you get your period but not be ovulating? I'm Dr. Dan Nayat. I'm a reproductive endocrinology and infertility specialist. And before I answer that, let's define both things. Usually when we say period, we mean any form of vaginal bleeding, but that doesn't mean it has to be hormonal. The bleeding could be from the vagina, from the cervix, or the uterus. So very commonly, we call all forms of vaginal bleeding as periods. A good example of that is women in menopause. So clearly they're not ovulating, but sometimes they have bleeding, which we refer to as postmenopausal bleeding, but they may refer to as having their period. Now let's talk about ovulation. Ovulation is a hormonal cascade. It occurs when a follicle grows and the estrogen rises, which makes your endometrium thicken, and then you ovulate, and that follicle turns into the corpus luteum, which then releases progesterone. The progesterone transforms your lining, and it's the drop of the progesterone that makes you bleed. So in a ovulation period, usually you'll get it 2 weeks after the LH surge. So a good trick to figure out if the period you're having is because of ovulation is to track your LH surge. If you pick up a surge and 2 weeks later you notice vaginal bleeding, most likely that's because of ovulation. But there are many forms of vaginal bleeding that are not related to ovulation.